Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
A half-mile paved oval opened in 1953, Five Flags Speedway takes its name from its proximity to Pensacola, Florida, known as the City of Five Flags, in reference to the 5 governments that have ruled the city: Spain, France, Great Britain, the Confederate States of America, and the United States of America. Five Flags is one of the fastest short tracks in America thanks to its 15-degree banking and wide turns that give the track a nearly circular configuration. Although the track hosted the NASCAR Grand National Series action in its early days, since 1968, Five Flags has been known as the site of the annual Snowball Derby held each December. The Snowball Derby is considered the year's premier super late model event. Past Snowball Derby winners have included Donnie Allison, Darrell Waltrip, Rich Bickle, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, Chase Elliott, and just 1 month ago, Caden Honeycutt. Five Flags regular season features super late models, pro late models, super stocks, sportsmen, and bombers every other Friday night from March through October. And tonight, it's the VRL Street Stock Devils Deal, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday night. Welcome to the virtual Five Flags Speedway for tonight's VRL Devils Deal. We'll feature two 20-lap heats and a 185-lap feature event. Track temperature 86 degrees Fahrenheit. As far as additional race details this evening, they have a full fuel load, unlimited tire sets. No damage either. We won't see any cautions thrown for any particular reason outside of the format itself. We'll get into that here in a little bit. We're going to talk to Ricky Wittenberg about that, as he has been the one to set this up for us this evening. Practice still underway. A little bit more time, 5 to 7 minutes, I think, before this one's all wrapped up. Fast time so far, though, is the 51 of Dylan Bryant. It's the 89 of Craig Goodenough, Josh Bittner, Larry Dickerson, and Jack Dixon, the top five. And practice underway here. We're going to see if we can pull up Ricky Wittenberger here and get a word so he can go over the format for this interesting evening we've got set up tonight. And let's see if we got Ricky available here. Ricky, it's Steve with Track Limits Network up in the booth. You got us?
Steve, yeah, I got you.
Ricky, we're live here at Track Limits. We're just getting ready to go over the format. If you'd be so kind to fill us in on all the details as far as what's at stake here tonight at Five Flags.
Well, Steve, it's going to be the Devils Deal race. So we've got two heat races, 20 laps each, no cautions. The top two from each heat will be given the option after the heat races to drop to the back of the main event and take an end of line. And if they can race their way back from the very back of the field to the front, they'll be given a $125 bonus at the end of the night if they win. So do you make the deal with the devil, or do you play it safe and stay up front and try to dodge the calamity? Because in the feature race, we also have no cautions except the comp cautions. So there's going to be a caution at lap 50, at lap 100, and at lap 125. Other than that, if there's wrecks on the track, you've got to try to dodge them. It's going to be like the old Papyrus NASCAR 2003 servers, where you're dodging people backwards, upside down. It's probably going to be a lot of calamity and a lot of chaos, but it's probably going to be a whole lot of fun too.
Certainly looking forward to it. These street stocks, pretty cool. Actually, iRacing just recently added a couple of them here for us to work with. Some cars that might look pretty familiar to you local short track guys, but I'm excited for this. This should be a fun one to watch here tonight. Ricky, thanks for setting it up and filling us in on the details. I'm sure we'll have to go over them again at some point, but we'll talk after the heats, man. Thanks for filling us in.
All right, thanks, Steve.
That was Ricky Wittenberg. Again, he is the official, I guess you could say, the race promoter here tonight. He kind of put this all together. It's being put on by the VRL. Of course, you guys are familiar with their races each and every Wednesday evening here on Track Limits Network. About 3 minutes left in this practice session. And Ricky's going to go back out on track. Ricky's in that number 55, so not only is he kind of the promoter here tonight, he's also a participant. Dustin Eaton in the 14. Now, again, we talked about these are more akin to something you might see on your typical Friday night short track stuff. We've got the same class of car up here where I'm broadcasting from, just 20 minutes north of me here at Spencer Speedway. They run these stock, or street stocks, if you will. Just take an old Monte Carlo or Camaro, you name it. Throw a roll cage in it and have at it. Couple minutes left in the session. We're going to do a quick adjustment here on some settings. We're going to take a very brief break. We'll be back with heat number one, actually with qualifying after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Back at Five Flags Speedway, less than a minute left in the session, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 19 seconds. No, I'm not counting all the way down. Just about wrapped up here. Dylan Bryant still the fast time, the only driver to crack below the 18-second time. 17.991, cutting it as close as he can, but he's under it nonetheless. A couple of drivers unable to make it here tonight. Looks like Darby Marioth and Derek Welch for certain unable to make it. And that's it. Session in the books. We'll jump right to qualifying. It'll be a 5-minute session. This is really just to set the field for our upcoming heat races. The heat races will be 20 laps apiece. Looks like Jack Dixon might be the first driver to roll out here. Dixon out of Ontario, Canada. And he's on the clock. Dixon out of 4, crosses the stripe. One more lap to go before he locks in. 18.452 was the time for Dixon. See if he can pick it up here, and he gets the piece of the wall on the exit of turn 2. That may very well invalidate his lap. Meanwhile, Jeremiah Burke has jumped up top, and yeah, Dixon in trouble off of 4, so that's it for him. Jeremiah Burke in the 53. 18.180 first lap, picks it up by 100th. 170, keeps the top spot. Craig Goodenough jumps up to second, but not for long as Dylan Bryant goes top of the board. 18.117. Bryant still in the gas here on his second lap. Let's see if he can make her stick off of 4. Little lift. Does he get in the 17s? No, but close. 18.082. Pretty stout time for Dylan Bryant. Timothy Pope in the number 7. Very close, 18.083. Missed it by 1,000th on the first lap. We'll see if Pope's got more. Pope might have scraped the wall, but does the lap count? It does, and he takes the pole. Picks up the pace by 3 1,000ths. Gives him 2 1,000ths of a second to spare. Knocks Bryant off the top spot. Andrew Cawthon in the number 10 out of Bartow, Florida. 3:21 on his first lap. Picks up the pace just a tick. 18.283, good enough for 12th for now. Alan Vaught with a 3:25 on his first lap. Allen crosses the stripe, picks it up, big time pickup, up from 15th to 7th, an 18.174 for the 33 machine. A little more than halfway through the session, it looks like everybody's gotten a lap time in here and set their time for tonight's heat races. So with that, we're going to take yet another short break. We're going to step aside here, get that out of the way, and we'll be back with our starting grid and heat number 1 after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Five Flags Speedway, let's take a look at our starting grid for heat number 1. On the pole with a lap time of 18.080 seconds, it's the 7 of Tim Pope. Outside front row, it's the 84 of Josh Bittner. Row 2, Jeremiah Burke and Alan Vaught. Row 3, it'll be Dustin Eaton and Trevor Robertson. Row 4, Andrew Cawthon and David Fite. Row 5, Austin Paul and Jack Dixon. Kelly Kuhl will start 11th. 12th starter will be the 434 of Kevin Hunt. Last but not least on the field in 13th, Chandler Paul in the number 72. Again, this is heat number 1 of 2. This will set the field for our feature event here in just a little bit. Field begins to roll away. Trying to get the timing tower to refresh here, having some issues with that, but we'll get it squared away before it's over. Pace car light's already off. Again, it'll be a 2-lap around here, 2 laps under caution before we go green. Well, we're having all kinds of issues. Oh, it's back. All right, we're good. Well, maybe not.
Green flag.
I don't know what's going on. Green flag in the air. We're racing. I know that's happening. Field out of turn number 4, up to speed. Green flag waves. Tim Pope leads them down into turn number 1. Pope with the top spot. The battle for the second position between Burke and Josh Bittner is on. The 53 of Burke on the bottom. Bittner in the 84 top side. Across the stripe, Pope leads lap number 1. Oh, the 84 real loose off at turn 4, and he saves it. Josh Bittner, a masterful job hanging on to that race car as it stepped out off turn 4. Loses a little bit of ground, but now side by side with the 14 to Dustin Eaton, with Alan Vaught knocking on the back door as they roll into turn number 3. Vaught slips up the track just a bit, loses the nose on entry, and then a little oversteer for Dustin Eaton on the exit of 4. Pope continues to lead, 17 laps remain. Still the battle continues now, Alan Vaught to the inside. Almost out of room. Alan Vaught pinches the 84 up the racetrack, leaves him just enough. Bittner's going to think better of it, though, and tuck in behind. Still on board with Alan Vaught, rolling through the corner. A little bit of contact, and around he goes. No caution, but contact certainly made. It looks like Bittner got to the inside. There was contact just based on how the 33 pitched to the inside of the track. So that's going to move Alan Vaught from 3rd back to 12th. Last car on the lead lap. Tim Pope out in front still, 14, coming to 13 laps to go. Burke scrapes the wall, so did Pope there on the exit of 4. Jeremiah Burke still running in that second spot, about 4.5 tenths behind the race leader, Tim Pope. Lap times are pretty similar. Right now, Burke only about 1/100th of a second quicker than Pope, at least the last time. That's not going to be enough to get around the 7. Coming to 11 laps to go. Across the stripe yet again. Pope very consistent, only slowed by about 2/100ths. And Jeremiah Burke matched his previous lap time to the 100th of a second. Consistency does pay off in some stages. This being a heat race, you just got to hammer down and go. Feature might be a different story as tires will wear and you got to take care of them. Back in 3rd, it's the 14 of Dustin Eaton. Andrew Cawthon up a few spots in P4 in that number 10. While Alan Vaught still at the back of the pack, tucked in behind Jack Dixon. Bittner working around the outside of Chandler Paul. Oh, contact with Paul. They both spin in tandem, or at least partially spin, drift through the corner. They're going to lose some track position out of this as well. Alan Vaught now closing in on Josh Bittner. Is he going to show his displeasure? Eight laps to go, and Tim Pope's got company. Burke is right there, looks to the inside, but Burke with an issue off turn 4, or was it? Just turned it hard left, gets to the inside of Pope and takes the race lead here with 7 laps to go. Burke out in front and starting to build some distance between himself and the 7, but loses connection for a moment. Still seeing a lot of that among some of these drivers. Out of turn 4, coming to the stripe, 5 laps to go. Burke ahead of Timothy Pope. Andrew Cawthon now just getting around. Dustin Eaton for the 3rd spot, so move the 10 up into the top 3. Got to keep in mind here, top 2 positions are the ones to be concerned with. These ones are going to be offered that deal that Ricky Wittenberg spoke about in the beginning of this broadcast. Be eligible to go to the back, win some extra money. Josh Bittner has driven to pit lane. He's out of this heat race for the time being. Will still make the feature. I think everybody's going to race. Out in front, though, it's still Jeremiah Burke over Tim Pope. Burke and Tim Pope into turns 3 and 4, looking for the white flag here, this time across the stripe. There it is, final lap of heat number 1. It's Jeremiah Burke and Timothy Pope, the top 2. Final couple of corners here off of 4 at 5 flags. Burke's going to win the heat. 2nd place goes to Tim Pope. 3rd goes to Andrew Cawthon. So the 53 and the 7, your first 2 drivers eligible to make some deals tonight. We will get them up here in the booth after heat number 2. We're going to jump right into our next heat race here. Didn't take long. I know I just said it a moment ago, too, but keep in mind, guys, if you're out here watching, you thought you had a bad heat, don't go anywhere. Everybody gets to race the features, so don't leave. Stick around. But let's get another chance here. Let's take a look at this starting grid. On the pole for heat number 2, it's the 51 of Dylan Bryant. Lap time of 18.082. To his outside, it's the 55 of Ricky Wittenberg. Row 2, it's George Rincon and Larry Dickerson. Row 3 will be Craig Goodenough and Dustin Wade. Row 4, Jonathan Osborne, Sean McDonald. Row 5 will be Mike Adamson and Kyle Vaught. Starting 11th, Dave Mayberry. 12th is Scott Roney. 12-car field for heat number 2. Brandon Taylor in the chat says, someone wreck Vaught. I'll pay $100. Well then. Getting the details on this heat race, 20 laps the race distance. Top 2 drivers move into that pool where they can make a deal for the feature and win some extra money. And that deal effectively is to go to the back, and then if you drive up through the field and win, you win extra money. What could go wrong?
Green flag.
Green flag called for. Pace car down pit lane and field coming up to speed. Dylan Bryan out in front here, already putting 6.5 tenths on the 55 of Wittenberg. The battle is on from there on back. Wittenberg in second for now, but George Rincon looking for that position. Wittenberg way up the racetrack in the loose stuff, hangs onto it, stays out of the wall, but the 28 gets to the inside, is likely going to take the third spot. Second spot, that is. Wittenberg trying to go back around the outside, drives it deep into turns 3 and 4, but slides up the track again. The 69 machine of Larry Dickerson now to the inside, gets around the 55. So Wittenberg now back into the 4th position. Behind him, a battle with John Osborne and Craig Goodenough. Meanwhile, Bryant just checking out, a full second advantage over second place Rincon. Mike Adamson and Dustin Wade battling for the 7th position. Adamson in the number 88 Budweiser machine. And trouble on a turn 2, the 16, a Kyle Vaught in the fence. We'll take a very quick look at this here. Did he have help? Nope, unassisted. Meanwhile, back out in front, coming to 14 laps to go, Dylan Bryant just having a Sunday drive. It's already 1.6 back to the second place machine of Larry Dickerson. Dickerson in the number 69 Good Wrench colors. Wittenberg back up to third, battling with Rincon. Rincon losing connection for a moment. Quite a few moments. He's there somewhere. Gotta be careful. Yeah, that's the challenge. That was almost a whole lap to 28 was out of the picture, and the drivers just kind of have to guess where he is. 12 laps to go. Bryant checking out still. 1.7 the advantage, and they go 3 wide in the middle of 1 and 2. The 89 drives it to the bottom of the racetrack. Craig Goodenough not wasting the time. He's working his way towards the front, picks up 2 spots, but Osborne's going to look to the outside in 3. Nothing doing there. Crosses over, looks to the bottom off of 4. Great battle for position here. This for the 4th spot. Goodenough's got it for now, but Osborne gets to the inside. A little wiggle out of the 89 out of turn number 2. Osborne might take this back. Meanwhile, Dylan Bryant just checking out. 2.4 seconds the advantage. Still some connection issues for Rincon as he continues to disappear. Certainly trouble for drivers trying to race around the 28. Drivers way loose out of turn 4 here. Both of them hanging on to it. Craig Goodenough in the tire tracks of John Osborne now. Osborne effectively did take that position back away from the 89. Things have changed up front here. The second position now, Larry Dickerson. Wittenberg had it a moment ago. These guys have been trading that position lap after lap. Wittenberg into the back. Ricky wants to get going here, but Osborne's going to take advantage. He jumps to the inside. He wants some action here in third. Wittenberg's got the third spot for now. Can he hold off Osborne? '29 of Dave Mayberry on the track. He's a lap down now to this point. Bryant still on a Sunday drive here, 2.3 seconds ahead. Wittenberg able to hold off Osborne for the time being, so Ricky running in that third spot. What he really wants is to get up there into P2 and be eligible for this deal, this Devils deal that may be coming. Meanwhile, Osborne and Goodenough going at it yet again, but final lap here from Five Flags in heat number 2. Dylan Bryant, a dominant performance in these first 20 laps. We'll see if he can back it up here in the feature. He's going to have some stiff competition with Tim Pope. Out of turn number 4, though, checkered flag in the air. It's Dylan Bryant and Larry Dickerson. So heat 1, we'll look at the heat 1 results again here. We'll double check this just so everybody's on the same page. It was Jeremiah Burke and Tim Pope. That was your top 2 in heat number 1. Heat number 2 results was Dylan Bryant and Larry Dickerson. See if we can pull these guys up into the broadcast booth. It's a 5-minute warm-up, so you're not going to miss too much. We'll turn that down a little bit. And we're going to start pulling some drivers up into the booth. I got to get them all found here because there's a lot of them. So we're pulling some drivers up into the booth here. I got Ricky Wittenberg here. We're going to pull Jeremiah Burke, Tim Pope. Trying to get all these guys up here. Ricky, you got us?
I got you.
Tim Pope, you with us?
Yeah.
All right. We're working on the rest of them here. Jeremiah Burke, you got a copy?
I got a copy.
All right, so who else are we missing here? We got Pope and Jeremiah, Ricky, and we got to get Dylan. Paging Dr. Bryant. There he is. Dylan Bryant, Steve, with Track Limits. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What's up, Steve?
And do I have the right top 4 here?
You got Larry. You need Larry Dickerson.
Larry. So who did I bring up that doesn't need to be here?
No, everybody should be here. You just brought me up.
Oh, I'm counting. Okay. All right. So we're all on the same page here. All right. So top 2 drivers from the first 2 heats. I think there's an offer on the table here. Ricky, take it away.
Yeah. So you all know the offer that was out there. First heat winner, Burke. Are you going to the back for the extra 125?
I'm doing it.
All right. Good deal. What about Tim? You going to the back for the extra 125?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Are you going to the back, Mr. Dickerson?
Yes, I am.
What about Mr. Bryant?
He better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh.
I'm going.
Everybody's taking the Devil's Deal, Steve, so it's going to be interesting.
Well, very good, gentlemen. Thanks for jumping up here in the booth. If you are so kind to individually go back to your private channels here so I don't have to move all six of you here, I appreciate you stepping up and taking care of that, guys. Good luck in the feature.
All right.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Steve.
it.
You. And good luck, guys.
With
Good
that,
luck.
we're going to step aside here, guys, take a short break, and we'll be back with our feature race after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Well, we're back at Five Flags. We don't need any more commercials because it's time to take a look at our starting grid for our feature race. On the pole, number 53 of Jeremiah Burke. Again, these are not based on times. This is based on the heat. Dylan Bryant will start to the outside of the number 51. Row 2 will be Timothy Pope and Larry Dickerson. Some fast drivers here out front. Remember, we talked to these guys about their heats, their options. They're going to go to the back, take the EOL for an opportunity to win more money. Can't blame them there. Row 3 is Andrew Cawthon and Ricky Wittenberg. Then 7th will be Dustin Eaton. 8th, Jonathan Osborne. 9th place starter will be the 3 of Austin Paul. I'll get it one of these days. 10th starter will be Craig Goodenough. 11th is Kelly Cool. Dustin Wade will start 12th. 13th starter is Kevin Hunt. Mike Adamson will start 14th. Alan Vaught 15th. 16th starter, it's Sean McDonald. 17th goes to Jack Dixon. 18th, George Rincon. Chandler Paul will start 19th. 20th, Scott Roney. 21st starter will be Josh Bittner. Kyle Vaught, 22nd. 23rd, David Fite. 24th, Dave Mayberry. And last but not least, in the number 6, it's the 25th starter of Trevor Robertson. Your starting grid from Five Flags for our feature event, 185 laps. There will be competition cautions, lap 50, lap 100, and lap 125. Aside from that, no cautions, no damage. This is going to get crazy. And you see our Fast Four all opting to go to the back. Again, to reiterate, if they can drive from the back of the field to the front and win this race, whoever wins the race doubles their money, basically. That's going to be fun. One more lap behind the pace car will be Green Flag Racing the next time by. Pace car is in.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. And we're racing from Five Flags. Oh, we got trouble off turn number 4. Already an issue in the 4th turn. Again, no cautions and no official damage to speak of, though there's parts flying all over the racetrack. I wonder if that got fixed. Oh, there it is. So we're still under green. We're going to try and look at this here because that was a big one. End of lap number 1. Try and see it here. We'll watch the 16 of Kyle Vaught. No, he gets through it. Meanwhile, out in front, it's the 55 of Ricky Wittenberg. Certainly showed some pace in the heat races earlier on. Osborne pounds the wall off turn number 4, and it looks like Craig Goodenough had a problem as well. He either got the fence or really crossed up the car. It's okay, though. Again, we talked about no damage in this race. The benefits of being a sim, you can turn the damage model off. Kind of forces a crazy level of aggression. And I think Lori wanted me to mention something about this. Brandon Taylor in the chat. That's one of Lori's sons. He is here in a surprise visit from Bahrain. He's currently active duty. Doesn't get home a lot, but surprised the parents and the family tonight. So he's, of course, watching the broadcast with us here. Brandon, thanks for your service, and certainly thank you for being here watching this race. Wittenberg still out in front. Osborne closing in, though. It's within 4/10. Osborne had pace in his heat as well. We watched the two of these guys battle it out for their positions. Wittenberg was able to hold off the 81. Osborne did get alongside, may have even gotten around for a brief moment. Didn't last very long. Checking out our Fast Four, Tim Pope already up into the 13th position. Jeremiah Burke just ahead of him. George Rincon still having some significant connection issues. So Burke and Pope, they're kind of hanging together. Larry Dickerson up into the 17th spot. Dylan Bryant running in 15th. Remember, these guys started at the very back, so 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th is where our Fast Four ended up starting this race. Already working their way about mid-pack. Oh, one car hard in the wall. Again, it's easy to say it's a problem. It was Chandler Paul, but there's no damage. I get panicked every time I see it, think their race is done. So they don't usually run fast repairs in VRL. This isn't really a fast repair situation. It's an instant repair. Like as soon as you hit the wall, it's fixed. Takes some getting used to. Chandler Paul running back in the 18th spot. He's made one position forward. Meanwhile, the biggest mover right now, it's the 84 and Josh Bittner. He was fast in his heat. There was some contact between himself and Alan Vaught in that heat race that really took the chances away for both of them. Thankfully, everybody races in the feature. Bittner's working his way through the field. Again, up 12 positions. Loses one there, looks like to Kelly Cool. Kelly Cool in the 01 Valvoline Thunderbird. Let's ride on board with Bittner while we have the opportunity. And this is the driver's eye camera. This camera built into the driver's helmet. Not something you typically get to see in a street stock race. This is usually reserved for the NASCAR Cup Series. But in sim racing, we do what we want. Bittner in some traffic still. Oh, one goes around. I think that was the 3. Again, no cautions. George Rincon gets a piece of that. I just got to wonder if that had something to do with the connection problems he's been having most of tonight. Let's see if we can get a look at this from a different camera. No, looks like Austin just got in there a little too hot. Started to come around, and Kelly Cool finished the deal. Austin Paul was backing up the racetrack, trying to get going, but it's collected. So 22 laps complete. Again, a cop caution coming at lap 50. Current race leader still the 55 of Ricky Wittenberg. Approaching some lap traffic. Sean McDonald in the number 23. Dustin Eaton has jumped up into the second spot in the meantime. Next on the list for Ricky Wittenberg is going to be the 88 of Mike Adamson. 3 cars a lap down for now. Sean McDonald, Dave Mayberry, Austin Paul. Wittenberg really knifing through this traffic. He's got a second advantage on Eaton now. Eaton kind of jumbled up in behind these lap cars. Eaton in the number 14, the KFC machine. And Osborne's reeled him in up to the back bumper. A big wiggle out of Dustin Eaton off turn 2. Still traffic playing a part here at Five Flags. Not a whole lot you can really do. It's wide for a short track, but it's not that big. There's not a ton of room. .28 laps complete here from Five Flags Speedway. Ricky Wittenberg, your race leader. Dustin Eaton second. John Osborne runs third. Fourth, Craig Goodenough. Andrew Coffin in fifth. Coffin just maintaining. Started fifth, runs fifth. There's no damage in this particular race, but there is tire wear, so you got to keep that in mind. We will get a comp caution, again, as we said, lap 50, lap 100, and then lap 125. We are going to pull our top 3 drivers into the booth here at that lap 100 caution and have a quick word with them. Wittenberg really just getting through this traffic with ease, able to point and shoot wherever he's got to go. Now he's up to 1.5 seconds out in front of now Osborne, as Osborne has taken over that second spot. Justin Eaton has slipped back to 4th. On some back markers here. Sean McDonald still running in the 20th spot. This one's not over for any of these guys. They're going to get wave arounds. This is supposed to be a fun night for these guys. That's kind of the idea. Trevor Robertson running in the 14th spot ahead of George Rincon, but you see still connection issues plaguing the 28. Now Craig Goodenough jumps up into the second spot, gets around Osborne. Burke in 6th, gets alongside another lap car. It's a 29 of Dave Mayberry. Tell you, Wittenberg is going to have his hands full here at any moment. Goodenough reeled him in fast. It was 1.5 seconds. Now it's 2/10. 39 laps in the books, and Goodenough is working his way through. He's right there to the back bumper off turn number 2, looking for the top spot. Wittenberg might have pushed a little too hard too early, got those tires heated up, starting to wear him out a little earlier than he had anticipated. And Goodenough now to the inside, down into turn number 1. A lap car is a pick. The 434 Kevin Hunt still there in front of both leaders right now, kind of blocking them both. Wittenberg trying to get through, loses the rear end of the car. Goodenough through to the race lead. So is Osborne to P2. Wittenberg slips back to that 3rd spot. Craig Goodenough, your new leader here just a few laps ago, maintains a 3.5 advantage over the 81 of Jonathan Osborne. And we saw Osborne in his heat. He had pace, he was quick, almost just as fast as the 55 of Wittenberg, but he runs ahead of the 55 right now. We talked about that in the heats as well. Only 20 laps were the heat races tonight, so you really didn't have to conserve the tire. You go out there and hammer down, just turn laps as fast as you can. Here in this race, we've already gone the length of 2 heat races out of 185 planned laps, so we've got some racing to do. We're going to likely see some tire changes at some point this evening. Wittenberg hanging in the third spot ahead of the 10 of Andrew Coffin. One lap car in between. That's the 16 of Kyle Vaught. Vaught up the racetrack, yields to the 10 of Coffin. Lets these leaders race for their positions. Good enough stretching it out too. It's about a full second back to P2. Remember our fast four? Before the first comp caution, Dylan Bryant in the 5th spot. Oh boy. So meanwhile, Craig Goodenough still with the race lead here, going to cross the stripe, put lap 50 on the board. We should get our comp caution here in a moment. There it is, yellow flag flies. First caution of the night, a planned one at that. Remember, no cautions for incidents here tonight and no damage, so we're going to be clicking off laps in a hurry. Craig Goodenough, your winner of this first stage, I guess you could call it. More about the notoriety than anything. There's no points or anything given away here for that, but Craig Goodenough with a late charge, getting around a dominant Ricky Wittenberg there late in this. Again, we're going to call it a stage. I know we're not necessarily stage racing, but that's what it is. So pit stop's underway. Oh, Goodenough overshoots the pit box. Has to back it up just a bit. These pit stops take quite a bit longer than what you'd expect to see with the trucks or the Cup car. Austin Paul way past his pit box. But with that, we're going to take a short break here. We're going to be back with our restart after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Five Flags Speedway, 55, almost 56 laps up on the board. Waved off the restart, trying to get everybody lined up where they need to be, get those wave arounds applied. Again, we'll have another competition caution at lap 100. Well, we have the opportunity. If you haven't already done so, we've got a handful of likes on the broadcast. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up if you're watching. Help us out with that. It's free to do, and it really does help us a bit. Gets a little bit more exposure on the channel on this particular event. Helps us, helps the league. It's a bonus all the way around. Green flag back in the air. Osborne leads them to the stripe. Craig Goodenough to the outside, and the number 89. They work through turns 1 and 2. Osborne continues to lead, but Dylan Bryant jumps up into the second spot. Craig Goodenough now third, Dickerson in fourth, Pope in fifth, Burke in sixth. We got all of our fast four up in the top 6 right now with lap 60 up on the board. Osborne continues to lead, but for how long? Dylan Bryant been fast all night long. He knows how to get around this place. See how long it takes to get to the inside or outside. Take that top spot from Osborne. Chrome horn might be coming here. Bryant might just remind the 81 who's behind him. Bryant to the inside. At the stripe, it might have been Bryant at the line, but he hasn't completed the pass just yet. He's clear now. If he puts the power down, can he wash up the track? No, Osborne battles back with a little bit more of a run out of turn number 2. Not giving up, hanging on the right rear of the 51 as they work on a turn 4. At the stripe, Bryant with a bigger lead this time may have enough to clear out of 2 if he's quick about it. Plenty of room now, half a car length behind. Off turn 2, Dylan Bryant officially back out in front, and now Goodenough getting back to the bottom. He'll take the second spot from Osborne. Kelly Cool pounds the wall out of turn 4, continues on. About 10 laps since the restart. And just looking at this field, make laps around 5 flags right now. It seems that everyone has really settled into their rhythm, settled into their groove, so to speak. Just trying to take care of their stuff, take care of those tires, trying to set up the next plan here when they make that pit stop at lap 100. They may have abused the tires and the race cars a little bit in that first 50-lap segment. At least now they know what they're capable of and what they're not. Dylan Bryant continues to lead over the 89 of Craig Goodenough. It's about a half-second advantage. He's not really walking away with it just yet. Could still happen. Jimmy Bryant just taking care of his equipment right now. Then again, Craig Goodenough could be doing the same. Dustin Eaton running in the 8th spot, just a hair ahead of the 68 of Dustin Wade. Andrew Coffin in the mix as well. Alan Vaught there in behind Coffin. Ricky Wittenberg 12th. Dickerson in the 4th spot. Tim Pope up into the top 5 now as well. Back Pope right on the back bumper of Dickerson. Dustin Wade in pit lane. I don't know if this was a plan or not, but looks like he took a pretty significant hit. Let's see how he ended up in the pits. Down on the flat, gets the car crossed up the racetrack. Does he have some help? Maybe not that time. Ah, there we go. Wittenberg, and this is too. Oh, that's how he got in the pits. Just hop the fence. It'll be okay. I wonder if he got a penalty for the speeding on pit lane while he was on his roof. Yeah, Wittenberg took a big chunk there as well. But again, no damage in this particular race. Race cars take a hit and they instantly repair themselves. Jeremiah Burke going around Osborne. This for the 5th spot. Osborne slides back now into P6. Might have burned up his stuff a little bit early. Trying to figure out who's in the 15 car. I don't show a 15 in the timing and scoring at all. If anybody can help me out as to who's in that car, that'd be appreciated. Looks like Mike Adams in trouble. Yeah, the cars fix themselves and they go back out. Let's take a look at that one just a moment ago out of turn number 4. Might have a battle for the lead here pretty soon as Bryant in some traffic, good enough able to start to reel in the 51. $16 cars still on the lead lap right now, 82 laps in the books. Just about 18 laps away from our next competition caution. So last lap for Bryant. It's an 18:57. Craig Goodenough, an 18:56. Larry Dickerson, 18:55. We're talking about some consistent drivers here at the front of the field. That means you're getting on the brakes and then getting back to the gas, comparative to everybody else, within maybe 6 inches of the next guy. Every lap. Okay, so there we go. David Feit is got the 15 on the door, but he's the number 1 in the timing tower, so that's why we couldn't find him. So there he is with that old Wrangler paint scheme, a beautiful paint scheme. Feit running back in the 22nd spot. Dylan Bryant, though, still holding off Craig Goodenough. It's getting closer and closer. It's within a car length now as they cross start finish. It does appear that George Rincon is likely succumbed to his connection issues. He's officially out of this race. Tough night for the 28. Even got the blimp here at Five Flags tonight. Battle for the race lead, though. Craig Goodenough jumps to the inside as Bryant slips up the racetrack off turn number 4. It almost looked like he's letting him go. Craig Goodenough now your new race leader. Dylan Bryant slips back to second, and look who's up to third. It's Tim Pope. Larry Dickerson running in fourth, Jeremiah Burke in fifth. Remember, those guys all went to the back to start this race. All four of them, and they're all in the top five. Ten laps shy of our stage break. Tim Pope gets around Dylan Bryant, moves himself up into P2. So Craig Goodenough with about a 6.5 advantage over Tim Pope. Or look at the lap times here as they cross start finish. Craig Goodenough runs an 1861. Tim Pope just a hair faster with an 1860. Dylan Bryant equaling that lap at an 1860. And even late in the run, these guys are just laying down laps. Dylan Bryant trying to take a crack back at Tim Pope here for that second spot. Bryant with a big slide out of turn four. He's continuing to lose a little bit of ground here to Tim Pope. To your current top three, it's Goodenough, Pope, and Dylan Bryant. Burke and Dickerson fourth and fifth. Starting to feel like I'm watching the last race of the season in the NASCAR Cup series. I can talk. That last race of the season with 4 championship drivers eligible to win. They always seem to be at the front of the field come near the end of that race. It's kind of what we've got here with Pope, Bryant, Burke, and Dickerson all in the top 5 after starting this race in the back. Goodenough with a 4.5 of a second advantage over Tim Pope here. Just a couple more laps and we'll get our next competition caution. Goodenough goes down low. The 3 of Paul goes up the racetrack to make room for the leaders. Car length and a half back to Tim Pope, but it's not going to matter. They're going to cross the stripe, and the caution will come out. Goodenough wins segment 2.
Boss, you're doing a good job. You want to give us an update on that car?
So second caution of the night, competition caution here at lap 100. We're going to try and get the top 3 drivers, Goodenough, Pope, and Bryant, up into the broadcast booth. We're also going to grab Ricky Wittenberg. Just got to find everybody. Hopefully we can get them up in the booth. There's a lot of drivers to pull from. That's the only difficult part about this. So we'll do it one at a time here. Craig Goodenough and Steve in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I got Osborne accidentally. Sorry, John. We got to move you.
All right, 10-4.
All right, so Dylan and Steve in the booth. You got me?
Steve, what's going on, brother?
We're just trying to get everybody up here so we can have a little chit-chat.
All right, all right.
So we got our top 3, Bryant, Pope, Goodenough. We're going to pull Ricky Wittenberg up as well. And Ricky's got a proposal for you guys. Ricky, you with us?
Yep, I'm here.
It's all yours, man. Take the floor.
All right, you top 3 guys. You know, they always say the deal with the devil and you might get burned. Now, the 2 of you, I think, who all is in here? Pope's in here, right?
Yep, we got Pope, we got Bryant, and we got Craig Goodenough, top 3.
Okay, so Pope and Bryant have already took a Devil's Deal, but I'm going to offer you another deal. If you go to the back again, and you come all the way back to the to win, you get 250. But you forego the 125. So you can stay where you're at and try to take 125, or you can go to the back and go for 250. Now, Craig, you didn't have the initial deal, but you still get this choice too. You can go all the way to the back and get 250.
I'll go to the back.
I'm gonna probably just stay where I'm at.
Okay, Larry. So Dylan's staying.
Yes, sir.
Hope.
Not going.
I'm going to do it. Let's go to the back.
Yeah.
All right, Pope's going back. 2 out of the 3 going to the back.
All right, gentlemen. Good luck the rest of the way. And
Great. Appreciate you.
Dylan, what room do you want to be in here? Actually, Laura, are you able to move them around? If you could help me with that, I appreciate it.
I will. I got you.
Yes, if possible.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you.
Well, you heard it, folks. The decisions have been made. A surprise Devils deal mid-race here at lap 100. The 2 drivers that, well, they took the first deal. They were eligible for 125, but they give that up if they go to the back. Dylan Bryant doesn't want to give up that track position. He's going to stay out right where he's at, which I can't say that I blame him. He can make some money here. He didn't want to gamble too much. I can't say that I blame him, but we'll see how the rest of this goes. And I think we're green already. So there it is. We're back green flag racing. Jeremiah Burke now out ahead of Dylan Bryant.
Caution.
And caution comes out quickly. I think they're going to reline them up here again. I don't think the field was where they needed to be, so we're going to call that a bum restart here from Five Flags. So we still anticipate another competition caution here at lap 125, and from lap 125 we'll race all the way to the end. I know it's a little confusing here tonight. I'm with you. I've been instructed on how this night's supposed to go probably 10 times. I've read it probably another 10 times. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's not them, it's me, I promise. But when you do fun stuff like this and you mix it up with different formats and segments, well, you guys have seen the All-Star Race before. It's always different. It's always hard to try and figure out, but that's what makes it fun. Again, we're awarding some prize money here tonight for these drivers, so it's a blast. It's a little chaotic, but we'll get it worked out. So again, with that restart, we didn't have everybody where they needed to be, it seems. That's my guess here. This caution came out pretty much right away. Now, Lori may hear me say this in the chat, and hopefully that's the case, but maybe she'll fill me in the chat if that's the case, and she hears my question here. But Jeremiah Burke was one of the drivers that took the deal to go to the back initially, I believe. Now I'm even losing my own mind. But the guys that took the deal at the beginning of this race but didn't finish top 3 midway, do they still have their original deal? I'm assuming yes, but I don't know for sure. Unless they finished top 3 and then they decided to switch things up. Again, Dylan Bryant stayed out, so he's still on his original deal. So yeah, the offer initially to go to the back and come to the front and win would pay $125. That's what Dylan Bryant is sitting on right now. He didn't want to go into the back and try to drive through the field to try and double his money because it's a double or nothing type deal. You got to win. You go to the back and you don't win it, it doesn't help. So Bryant trying to cash in. He's hedging his bets here on 125. Pace car is in. Green black back in the air. Jeremiah Burke on the gas. Bryant to the outside. Bryant unable to get around Burke on the high side. Sticks into the second position for now. Burke out in front. Both drivers making their pit stop. On that lap 100 competition caution, it appears they both did take their tires. Competition caution has been moved. The next comp caution has been moved from lap 125 to lap 135. Stretching things out just a little bit due to that restart issue just a moment ago. Or he's got it figured out. Burke still with the lead. Bryant right there. I just got to wonder here if Bryant is just going to try and save his stuff throughout this run. Might be perfectly happy running behind Burke, but Burke has a problem off turn 4. Loses the rear end of the race car, saves it, but slips back to the second position. It gives Dylan Bryant the clean air and the race lead. The top 5 is Dylan Bryant, Jeremiah Burke, Trevor Robertson, Dustin Eaton, John Osborne. Fire out the right side of the 51 to Dylan Bryant on the D-cell into turn 1. Now down the back straightaway, Jeremiah Burke still in tow. Got DW Derek Welch in the chat, says, if I was in this race, I would have been wrecked 10 times already. Yeah, but there's no damage. So you can just keep on going. We miss you, DW. Sorry you missed it. Top 2 real close still. Burke seems to be a little bit faster right now. We'll take a look at the lap times as they cross start finish. Dylan Bryant across the line at 18.30 second lap. Jeremiah Burke just a tick slower with a 33. But Trevor Robertson, the fastest of that bunch, with an 18.29. Robertson in the 6th. Again, reminder, competition caution has been changed from lap 125 to 135. That would be our final comp caution of the night. These top 2 close together. Burke all over the back bumper of Dylan Bryant. Slips up the track just a bit out of turn number 2. Setting him up, trying to get to the inside, but Bryant has a better run out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. Bryant's pushing hard. Might have got a piece of the wall there out of turn 4. Burke to the bottom. Left side's below that white line. It's legal, but you're only an inch off the wall at that point. Bryant might be having some problems with that right front tire. Trying to get that car to turn. Washes way up the racetrack into 3. Stretching it out now, 4, almost 5/10 of a second back to Burke. Either the car starting to come to the liking of Dylan Bryant, or the tires finally warmed up to where he needs it to be. Nonetheless, car's looking better and better. Big wiggle there in the middle of turn 4. Cost him about a half a tenth, not a lot, nothing to be too concerned with. Still plenty of action, plenty of racing left here from Five Flags. Distance from first to second remaining about the same. Meanwhile, Dustin Eaton battling for the 3rd spot with Trevor Robertson. Eaton topside in the number 14 with Osborne in behind. Robertson in the number 6, the old Terry Labonte scheme, the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, or Corn Flakes, that is. So Tony the Tiger on that hood. 129 laps in the books here from Five Flag Speedway. Dylan Bryant still out in front. Jeremiah Burke second. Dustin Eaton, Trevor Robertson arguing over the third spot. No one's really got it right now. Eaton up the racetrack, gets the wall, breaks his momentum. Robertson might have gotten to the left door after that. They're still side by side through 1 and 2. Ricky Wittenberg, the same story alongside Osborne. Those are all positions, all lead lap drivers here at Five Flags. 130 laps in. Eaton edges out in front of Robertson onto turn 4, gets the wall again, but still has enough momentum down into turn 1. Rear end of the car steps out just a bit, but he's clear and has the spot. Robertson might battle back to the inside if he's got a deep enough run, but not enough room to do it. Too far back, and now he's got to worry about the 81 of Osborne up top. Dylan Bryant into his groove now, 0.6 of a second ahead of Jeremiah Burke in second. We continue to watch this battle here from third place on back. Osborne up the track and pounds the outside wall. Wittenberg does the same, breaks momentum and gives a little bit of breathing room for the 6 of Robertson, but how much? Only a car length and a half really back to the 81. Wittenberg's going to tuck in behind Osborne. Alan Vaught stalking in the background as well in the 7th position behind the 55. And it's Kelly Kuhl, Jack Dixon, and Austin Paul, the top 10. Lap 135, the caution comes out. Dylan Bryant first across the line. So as he crosses the line here, it's 50 laps to go. Bryant tucks in behind the pace car here. We'll see if he hits pit lane for his final pit stop, or will he just go with what he's got? No, they're going to come down and pit. Robertson into his pit stall. Jeremiah Burke even on pit lane, right to the back bumper of Dylan Bryant. Burke with the preferred pit stall here. He can just dump the clutch and get out of here. Right side tire change for Dylan Bryant. 4 tire change. A lot of drivers opting for 2 here. Some of these Fast 4 are going to have some work to do, and Larry Dickerson beats him out. Dickerson in the number 69. Looks like he went with 2 tires as well. Well, this changes everything. So Ricky Wittenberg pulling some pit strategy here with 2 tires only. That looks to be the same from first all the way back to P6. So Osborne, Paul, Kyle Vaught, Tim Pope, Larry Dickerson, all on 2 tires. Dylan Bryant, though, will be the first driver out there on 4 tires. He'll restart in 6th or 7th. I think Dickerson beat him out. So it looks like Dickerson will be out there on 2 tires. Bryant still the first car out there with 4. He'll restart 7th. Then Jeremiah Burke with 4. Really everybody else down the line here with 4 tires on that final stop. Trevor Robertson, Dustin Eaton, Alan Vaught, Kelly Kuhl, Sean McDonald, Chandler Paul, Scott Roney, and the like. Puts 19 cars back on the lead lap, so continuing down the line, 16th Cawthon, Jack Dixon, Mike Adamson, Dave Mayberry. So we're getting ready for another restart. Pace car lights about to go out as they cross the stripe. So it'll be 45 laps to go when they cross start finish. Take the green flag. It's in the air. Wittenberg up to speed. Osborne to the outside. Wittenberg clears Osborne. Osborne right to the back bumper. Little wiggle out of the 55, out of turn number 2. Osborne looking to the high side, but dumps it back down to the bottom. The 3 of Austin Paul up the racetrack. Contact. Osborne and Wittenberg come together at start-finish just enough to loosen up the 55, but Wittenberg still on the gas. And here comes Dylan Bryant in the 5th spot. Tim Pope up into the 3rd position now in that familiar number 7. We got trouble in turn 4. Alan Vaught involved, almost goes up on his lid. Big time wreck out of 4, still no caution. Mayberry comes in and pounds into the 33, and they're still wrecking on the front stretch. Here come the leaders? No, not just yet, but they're in turn 4. Do they get through this? Wow, everybody got cleared out of there. I didn't think that was going to happen. Wittenberg still holding off the 81 Osborne as the 81 now gets to the right rear of Wittenberg, almost turns him up into the fence. Wittenberg hangs onto it, but these two going to play grab ass for a little while here as Tim Pope closes in. Kelly Cool going to be a lap car in just a moment here as the leader is closing in on the 0-1. Osborne with a little bit of a slip in the middle of 3 and 4. Wittenberg a big slip on exit, pounds the outside wall, drops it to the bottom of the racetrack to shut the door on Osborne. '55 continues to lead over Jonathan Osborne. Tim Pope up into the 3rd spot. If I remember correctly, Tim made the gamble to go to the back at that midway caution, that comp caution at lap 100 where they got another Devils Deal. Pope trying to cash in big time, but he's got 2 pretty fast guys ahead of him to contend with. Ricky Wittenberg, the one that kind of organized this event here this evening. .35 laps to go here from Five Flag Speedway. Ricky Wittenberg continues to lead. John Osborne, Tim Pope, Austin Paul, and Dylan Bryant. Those positions haven't changed much since the restart. Bryant right in behind the 3 of Austin Paul, trying to find a way around, and it does appear that they're starting to lose some ground to the drivers just up ahead. It's about 3-4 car lengths from Tim Pope back to the 3 of Austin Paul. Bryant racy in the rearview mirror trying to get through, and Austin Paul just keeps slamming the door, blocking the 51 with everything he's got. On board with the 3. Contact made, and Dylan Bryant goes around. Bryant gets into the fence. His opportunity has gone out the window. Again, no cautions from here on out. Dylan Bryant in trouble trying to get by the 3 of Austin Paul. Made some contact. It upset the balance of his race car. Around he went. Finds himself back in the 8th position while Jeremiah Burke now takes advantage into the 5th spot, working around the 6 of Trevor Robertson. Contact with Robertson on a turn number 4. Dustin Eaton there in behind as well. Meanwhile, back out front, Wittenberg still leads. Osborne trying to catch the 55. Another big wiggle out of the 81 may open the door for Tim Pope for the second position. One car up the fence, that's the 72. I think that's Chandler Paul. Pope, though, still a half car length off the 81 of Osborne. Little loose on exit for Wittenberg. Didn't have any help there, almost lost it on his own. Still carrying a half-second advantage back to second place. Now some lap traffic into the fray. The 434 machine to Kevin Hunt. Now on the outside of Osborne. On board with Tim Pope. Osborne gets the fence, opens the door for the 7. Just noticing the paint scheme on the 81 of Osborne. It's the ADHD edition, my favorite. Not really. Osborne going back at it. Is it ADHD? I don't know. Maybe. Osborne, though, switches lanes here, jumps back to the inside of Pope. Pope's going to have the run down the straightaway into 3 yet again now. 25 laps remain, and Wittenberg still starting to run away. It's just under 6/10 with 24 to go. Tim Pope, though, in the second position, certainly capable of reeling in the 55, and it seems the 55 is getting looser and looser by the lap. We'll watch this a little closer here and watch that race car step out on him. Bottom of the racetrack on exit, keeps it pinned down. A real shallow exit for Wittenberg. Almost got to point that race car off the bottom and go up the racetrack. Still working through some lap traffic. Kyle Vaught topside. Osborne still all over the back bumper of Tim Pope. Pope's got to look at the windshield and the rearview mirror both at the same time here, trying to either defend the position, but he also wants to try and work his way up through the field to try and catch that race leader as Mayberry all over the place out of turn number 2. Comes to a stop on the backstretch. No caution, of course, and it's not going to come out. Wittenberg still with the lead and starting to gain a larger lead here with 20 to go. It's about a 3/4 second advantage back to the 7. Nineteen laps to go. Osborne starting to lose touch here with Tim Pope. 17 to go. Might have just gotten all the life out of those tires that he's going to get. Anything can still happen, but Pope has really gotten to the back now, no longer having to be concerned with Osborne. Pays attention now to the 55 ahead of him. That's the one guy he's got to get clear of and win this race to pick up that big prize money. Remember Dylan Bryant, he opted to stay in the position he was in at that break. Was willing to take less money in keeping that track position, $125 if he was able to win. Whereas Pope decided to go to the back again and double his potential winnings, but he's got to win this race to receive it. One position, one driver stands in the way. That's the 55 of Ricky Wittenberg. Last lap, though, Pope was a 10th faster, 10th plus. just like that, Pope takes the lead. So with 12 laps to go, Pope gets the spot from Wittenberg. Now he's got to hold him off, work his way through some lap traffic, which he's going to run into. He's been under green for a while here. That's going to happen. So 11 laps to go for Tim Pope. That really is a feat if he can get this done here. Go to the back twice. Again, he started the race in the back, made his way to the top 5. Lap 100, went to the back again, made his way back to the lead. I don't want to say it's surprising because we've seen Pope so many different disciplines here in iRacing, able to drive through the field late. He always qualifies towards the back, if he even opts to qualify. But as the race winds down, he's always there. He's in that top 5. We say it every week here on the broadcast for VRL, but Tim Pope, I don't know where he finds the speed, if he's just taking care of the tires that well compared to everybody else, but a little loose on exit there for Pope, though, trying to stay shallow off Mayberry. Mayberry way up the racetrack riding the wall. Oh, Mayberry lost the right front tire. Pope scrapes the wall just a bit, using every inch and then some of this racetrack. The 10 of Cawthon down low, awful slow there. Doesn't really pose a problem for Pope just yet. 6 laps, 5 laps to go. Meanwhile, Wittenberg back into the second spot. Osborne closing in. Osborne would like to try and pick up that second position too. Wittenberg gets the bottom of the racetrack, slides up, and Osborne takes the second spot away. This coming with 3 laps to go, so now Wittenberg goes from in position to win this late to now back to the 3rd spot. So Osborne takes advantage of a small mistake by the 55, but Wittenberg's not done yet. He's going to try and battle back. Meanwhile, with 2 laps remaining, Tim Pope out in front, healthy margin, 1.3, 1.4 almost. On at turn number 2, a lap and a half to go. And Wittenberg spins on a turn number 4 as Pope crosses the stripe here. Final lap here from Five Flags Speedway. Pope is on cruise control. He just needs to get it back to the start-finish line and call it a day. Pope through 3 and 4 for the final time. From the back to the front, he's going to cash in here at Five Flags. Pope crosses the line first. Then it's Osborne. Jeremiah Burke will finish 3rd. What a cool race. Tim Pope takes the win, takes the money. Again, I want to say I'm surprised, but I'm really not. What a run for these guys. Job well done. With that, we're going to step aside here, get a break out of the way, be back with our top 3 finishers in just a moment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Masker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom. Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Back at Five Flags Speedway, the VRL Devils Deal in the books. Tim Pope, your race winner from the back to the front. Let's see if we can get a word with the driver of the number 7. Our winner here tonight, Timothy Pope. It's Steve with Track Limits. You got us?
Oh, yeah.
Tim, congratulations, man. Back to the front. Big payday to win this thing here tonight. Walk us through that final restart, and then how did you cut your way through this field here tonight? Was it just a matter of taking care of those tires till it was time to really fire off and go?
Yeah, on that next to last caution there, about a couple laps in, it's all on Rick. I had to thank him. He called out, probably should take 2 tires on the last stop, and when he called that out, I started saving right then for the left sides, and I took 2 and was able to get back up towards the front and save a little bit. About 10 laps there, and then put her to the middle.
There's a couple of guys that opted for 4 tires on that final stop, and it really didn't seem to make a huge difference as far as their pace was concerned. Even at the end, you on the new right sides only were still a little bit faster than those guys on 4. Was this something that you just kind of audible? Do you kind of last-minute decision to do too?
Yeah, they were discussing it, and I think Trevor said it was just as fast on 2 than he was 4, and it felt even better on 2, so I said, I want to try it.
Well, job well done. You pick up some money here tonight. An awesome way to finish up a Friday night, man. Who do you want to thank before we let you get going?
Like I said, Ricky for the call. He's a great crew chief. Got a lot of knowledge about these cars and old cars. You guys for broadcasting. Justin Lori for putting the race on. Ricky for the sponsorship of this race. I believe that's about it.
All right, Tim. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Congratulations. Awesome run here tonight, as always, and we'll talk to you again.
Thank you.
Tim Pope, your race winner here at Five Flags. Next, we're going to talk to the driver, the number 81, Jonathan Osborne. Osborne was close. He had a fast race car here tonight. We watched him a bunch. Even in the heat races, he was someone to be contending with. And I love the paint scheme on this thing. John, you got us?
Yes, sir.
It's the ADHD edition. It's like you did it for me.
It's my sponsor, Indecisive Chaos Lifestyle brand. ADHD edition.
Well, I kind of like it because it's something I suffer with. This broadcast tonight was a nightmare for my brain, but it was still fun to watch. Certainly a blast to watch you out there. You started in the 8th position this evening, worked your way up. You were a contender most of the night. We saw you battling with Ricky Wittenberg in the heats and in the feature. Walk us through the closing laps on this thing. I know the 55 had a little bit of an issue. You took advantage, and then you had a bigger issue. What did it look like out the windshield of that 81?
It looked like he was starting to lose his right rear there. Just following him, we were pushing so hard to stay ahead of Pope, and then once he got around us, we got to push extra hard to get back to him. Looks like he just overheated his right rear, and that's all she wrote. I was able to keep the rear end underneath me, and we came out in second. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, job well done. A runner-up finish here. This was a money race. I don't know if they're paying out anything for second place, but there's some randoms out there as well. Wish you the best of luck on that. But a great race for you, certainly, in these street stocks. Job well done. Congratulations. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Thank you, man. I'd like to shout out my sponsor, Larry Donahue with Indecisive Chaos and Daystar Screens, and Josh Bittner with TrackDogsRacing.com.
All right, Jonathan. Thanks for talking to us, man, and we'll catch you again at the next one.
Alrighty, thank you very much.
Jonathan Osborne, your runner-up here at Five Flag Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to the 53 of Jeremiah Burke, another driver that was very quick this evening, certainly had pace every time we watched him. Just came up a couple of positions short. Jeremiah, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
I got you, Steve.
Jeremiah, congratulations. A job well done. I mean, you qualified well. You ran great in the heats. Just not quite enough there at the end to go up there and contend with Tim Pope. But a third-place finish, a solid run nonetheless. Walk us through the closing laps of your night.
And I think I just kind of got snookered there on the pit strategy. I didn't realize the 2 tires was gonna hold on like that, so I put 4 on, got buried in traffic, and by the time I got by everybody, my tires were gone. So it was just holding on, slipping, sliding. I tried my best. I had a good fun. That was a good fun race. I really enjoyed that. Really good racing all through the field. Coming up through the pack, I had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, it was a fun race to watch as well for us here in the broadcast. I hope everybody out in the stream enjoyed it as well. But a different format, kind of fun, something different style race car than we typically see you guys here in VRL running. These street stocks, is this something that you run on a regular basis, or is that kind of like only thing you did in rookies, or what's the deal with this race car for you?
No, I enjoy it. Every once in a while, we'll throw one up on a Friday or a Saturday and run together as fun races. But other than that, I don't really touch the car. I've always enjoyed driving it. I have a blast every time I get in it. I think about running officials sometimes to run it some more, but then I get in those races and they're little wild for my taste. So I just stick with racing them with VRL when we do it once every couple months or so. But I have a blast with them.
Well, fair enough. Again, a blast of a race to watch and call up here in the booth. We're going to let you get out of here, but is there anyone you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Sounds good. I want to shout out my kids, Amara and Elena. They're getting ready to go to state championship cheer competition tomorrow, so wish them both good luck. They like to watch these races back, so shout out to them. Lori and Jess putting on a great league to race with. Steve for putting on a great broadcast. I really enjoyed watching yours. And then Ricky for putting this race together. This was a blast. I hope we can do some more format like this every once in a while. This was some of the most fun I've had in iRacing in a while, so really enjoyed it. I thank everybody in the league for racing really good together tonight. I feel like even though it was there was no consequences for crashing and all that, even though there were some crashes, it wasn't a complete wreck fest. So it was a lot of fun. So I want to shout out everybody in this league and get them again next week.
I think controlled chaos was the words we're looking for.
Yeah, that's I think that's put it in there.
All right, Jeremiah, congratulations, third place run here at Five Flags, man. Good to talk to you, and we'll see you at the next one.
Thank you. See you next time.
Jeremiah Burke, your third place finisher here at Five Flags Speedway. That's going to wrap up the interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Let's take a look at the race results. Talk to our top three, of course, Tim Pope, John Osborne, Jeremiah Burke. Fourth place finisher was Dustin Eaton. Fifth belongs to Austin Paul. A strong run for the 3 here tonight. Trevor Robertson was 6th. Dylan Bryant, tough break for him. Had a shot there, but kind of the same situation. Took 4 tires on that final stop. A bad pit call per se. Really, it's hindsight 2020 when all those guys roll out with 2 tires and leave you in the dust and then having an issue on the track. Bryant ends up finishing 7th. Larry Dickerson, one of our Fast 4 from earlier, finished 8th. Craig Goodenough, same thing in the 9th spot. 10th went to Jack Dixon. Sean McDonald was 11th. Alan Vaught, 12th. Ricky Wittenberg was 13th after that late race spin off turn 4. Andrew Cawthon was 14th. Kelly Cool finishes in the 15th position. 16th place was Mike Adamson. Kyle Vaught was 17th. Chandler Paul, 18th. Kevin Hunt finishes in the 19th spot. David Fike, 20th. Scott Roney, 21st. Dave Mayberry, 22nd. Dustin Wade finished 23rd. George Rincon, 24th after bowing out with connection issues. He tried the best he could, but he is out on the West Coast and communications and things like that, really being tasked out there with the relief effort with the fires out in California. So he decided to not cause problems for everybody else. Kind of fell on the sword, but tough night for George Rincon. 24th place finish. Josh Bittner, 25th, 161 laps down. Not sure what happened there to the 84. I know he had a problem at one point, but that's it. 25 cars, 25 street stocks here at Five Flags. That was a blast. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Again, congratulations to Tim Pope, cashing in big time here, back to the front with the win. If you guys haven't already done so, give us a like on the stream, hit the thumbs up. Also, if you haven't already started to follow us, click the subscribe button or follow button. Again, I keep forgetting to check what it actually says. I put it on my list to do, and then it doesn't happen. But either way, help us out there. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this year, hopefully in the first quarter of 2025. We're about 955 coming into tonight. But so help us out with that if you haven't already. If you click it again and you're already a subscriber, you're unsubscribing. So please don't do that. Again, that'll wrap it up for us. We're going to be back in action here this coming Monday, the IROC Challenge Series. Sunday, we're taking a break from the Pro Sim Racing Alliance. We'll be back there on the 19th. But Monday night, the IROC Challenge Series. Tune us in here at Track Limits Network about 9 p.m. Eastern time for that. And then, of course, Wednesday, another race here in the VRL will be the trucks at Daytona. So be here again, same channel, Track Limits Network. We'll see you then, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.